G'day guys, ZiggyD here and welcome to some Magic Duels. I've been playing a lot of Magic the Gathering lately, and it's always been the case that when I'm really into something that I need some form of outlet, and YouTube has been a fantastic outlet for me with other things like Path of Exile and such, and I thought that I could share some of this excitement with you guys. So this is a bit of a trial. If I enjoy making these videos and you guys seem to enjoy them, then maybe we could make it a weekly thing or something like that. We'll do some deck techs and some gameplay commentaries. So let's jump straight into it and see how it goes, shall we? Today we're going to be taking a look at my Red-Black Madness Vampires deck, and I'll also be giving you guys some commentary on it. This is a deck that I based on a standard deck that I played for game day during Eldritch Moon, and it went really well, and I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. It's all about the Madness mechanic, which has you discard a card, and when you discard a card with Madness, you can pay the Madness cost and instead play that card, often being cheaper and allowing you to play things at instant speed. So the idea is to dump a lot of powerful cards really quickly and to try and overwhelm your opponent while they're still trying to get their land base and defenses together. So let's go through each card here. First up, we have Insolent Neonate. This is simply a 1 red mana for 1/1. Menace can sneak through a fair bit of damage in the early game. You'll be surprised how much work this guy can do. But the most important thing here is that you can discard a card, activating Madness to play another card, potentially cheaper. You sacrifice Insolent Neonate, but you can do that when you block or something like that, so you can be kind of tricky with it. And it allows you to draw an extra card as well, so you get to keep the same amount of cards essentially. Lightning Axe is fantastic removal here. We run a full playset of 3 of these here in Duels, because for 1 mana you can essentially deal 5 damage, clearing a path for your attackers, and it acts as a Madness activator, allowing you to discard a card. Normally it would cost 6 mana, but we never do that. We instead discard cards to use this. It's quite good in this deck. Asylum Visitor, we just run 1 of these guys. This is for once we've dumped our entire hand and we're really, playing top deck mode, which is not great. Then Asylum Visitor will help us with a bit of extra card draw. And aside from that, here's a Madness card. That's 2 mana for 3/1, so not too bad. Plenty aggressive. Era of Falconwrath is fantastic in this, a 2 mana for 2/1, that when you discard a card, transforms into a flying 3/2, which can do a lot of work. And then on top of that, you can do this kind of at any time to try and trick your opponent. The threat of you discarding a card and transforming Era of Falconwrath is always there, and you can use it to block flyers yourself or attack when they might not be able to deal with it. Ravenous Bloodseeker is kind of just an okay Madness activator. You will have another card that you'll see in a moment that is pretty much just better than this dude, but because we can't fill out our deck with those, we add a few of these guys in, but essentially discard a card and he grows in strength. You do that when you can attack and deal a bit of damage, obviously. So we just run 2 of those to fill us out. Here is the real one, though. This is the better version of Ravenous Bloodseeker, and this is Furyblade Vampire. 2 for 1/2 that has trample, and when you discard a card, it gets +3/+0, so it turns into it swings in for 4 damage, and you can do that at the start of combat, which allows you to do some nice mid-combat tricks, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Avacyn's Judgment here, a Madness outlet. When you play this with Madness, so discard this, you can pay X mana to be able to get as much damage as you need to, and usually you'll dump that on whatever creatures you need to get rid of them for your attackers to get through, and deal some damage to face as well with that. Distemper of the Blood gets played as a combat trick. It's a 2 for +2/+2 and trample sorcery speed, which is pretty bad, but when we Madness it only costs 1 red mana, and you can play it at instant speed during combat, for example on a Furyblade Vampire. In combat, you discard, throw Distemper of the Blood there, and kind of like get around your opponent, essentially. So that works quite nicely. Chandra Fire of Kaladesh is fantastic in this because we're very red heavy. Though this is a red-black deck, it's more about splashing black. We play a lot of red spells. It's very easy to get 3 damage with this, especially with Madness making spells so cheap. We can play a lot of spells really quickly in a turn and easily tap Chandra 3 times in a turn, dealing damage to the enemy's face, or using something like Distemper of the Blood to get Chandra to actually attack the enemy and getting her to flip, which then she can just deal a bunch of damage, clearing out enemy creatures or dealing direct damage to face each turn. Very nice stuff. Hanway Garrison, pretty much the only non-vampire besides Chandra that we run in here. It's just too good to not. 3 mana for 2/3 that whenever it attacks, it puts 2/1/1 red humans. Tapped and attacking, this gets out of control very quickly. It is a bomb card, and left, undealt with, if they don't have the right removal to deal with it, then it becomes a real threat for them and can end games by itself. Blood Mad Vampire is also fantastic in this deck. 4/1 for 3 that we can play for 2 mana instead with Madness, and whenever it attacks the enemy's face, it gets a 1/1 counter. Now this ends up becoming, these can grow out of control very quickly, and especially when you use things like Distemper of the Blood to ensure trample damage, then you can gain 1/1 counters quite easily, and once you work in things like First Strike later on, it becomes a real threat that can just push through a lot of things. Stentia Masquerade is a key card in this deck, absolutely fantastic. This has Madness, so we can play it mid-combat with something like Fury Blade Vampire at instant speed, kind of like a combat trick. It gives attacking creatures First Strike. We have a lot of low toughness but high power attacking creatures, and giving them First Strike means that almost nothing can defend against them. So on top of that, it also causes all of our vampires to get 1/1 counters when they attack, which gives the opponent a really hard choice to make. Do we block and sacrifice our creatures to First Strikers, often not trading, or do we let them through, saving our creatures but letting the vampires grow? It's a bad choice, and you want to give your opponent bad choices. So I run 3 of these just to ensure that we get it as early as possible, because if you can play this on turn 3, then you are set to have a very good match. Abandoned Reason is an instant speed, +1/+1 for 2 creatures. That gives us First Strike. Good for if we don't have Stentia Masquerade up just yet. Next up, Fiery Temper. This is our Madness outlet removal. So whereas Lightning Axe is a Madness creator, that makes you discard a card, this is your Madness outlet. And this simply does 3 damage, which allows us to, for 1 mana, clear out a lot of creatures that might be blocking our opponents. I run 1 Voldaren Duelist here. This guy's a little slow, 4 mana, doesn't have Madness, and 3/2 for 4 mana, not so great, but he is a haste creature. But the most important thing is that we can drop him, stopping a key target creature from blocking, and often closing out the game. This is a game ender. This is like the last card we'll play in a match. Bloodhole Priest, because we're dumping so many cards to Madness, we have this in our deck that ends up being very strong. Whenever we play it with no cards in hand, or whenever this attacks with no cards in hand, we get to deal 2 damage to a target creature or player, which allows us to clear a path or get that final damage through. This becomes a real threat. Not to mention that you can pay it for 3 mana for a 4/4 that can potentially deal 2 damage each time it attacks. Very nice. Incorrigible Youths is a beast in this deck. A 3 mana with Madness, we play a 4/3 that has haste. I'll often do combos like a Fury Blade Vampire to discard this, and then in combat, throw down the Incorrigible Youths, and we go from having a 1 damage, 1 power creature on the board to all of a sudden attacking for 8 damage, which can catch your opponent off guard quite nicely. Mana base is heavily skewed towards red because we're only splashing black. We run as few slow lands as possible, so Dragon Skull Summits will run both of these because we can play these on turn 1, or we can play them if we have a Swamp or Mountain down so that they end up being fast. We don't run any of the slow lands, apart from 2 Looming Spires, because these work as a bit of a combat trick. You drop this down and you can get +1/+1 and First Strike. This is the only slow lands we play, and 1 Handwear Battlement so that we can potentially pull off the combo with Handwear Garrison. One card that I'm missing here and that I'd really like to run, and you guys should run if possible, is Olivia Mobilized for War. She's fantastic in this deck, I just haven't been able to pull her for some reason. So this deck is a lot of fun, it's very fast, and it's very aggressive. Let's give it a go. Alrighty guys, let's take a look at our starting hand. We have 3 red lands, no black lands for Asylum Visitor, but we do have Fury Blade Vampire, a key card here. We do have 2 very nice black, hopefully we can pull that, but this is a very good hand, just because we have this Fury Blade Vampire combo with Incorrigible Youths and the lands to be able to do it, so this is definitely a keep. We're simply going to play our first 2 mountains and then play a Fury Blade Vampire. We drew that Swamp on turn 1, fantastic stuff. This gives us a lot more options. This Fury Blade Vampire combo into Incorrigible Youths is definitely still the play though. Much better than Asylum Visitor. Well, depending on what our opponents play, we could end up playing Heir of Falconwrath, because that ability to get a flyer up nice and early could be quite nice as well if our opponent throws down a small blocker that would give Fury Blade Vampire trouble. The thing about that Fury Blade Vampire is that it does let us play that Incorrigible Youths on turns 3, so if our opponent doesn't have defenses by then, we're going to be dealing a lot of damage. To give ourselves options here, and because it doesn't really matter too much, we'll play our Swamp, and we're going to throw down our Fury Blade Vampire. Our opponent's in white and green. Not sure what we'll be seeing here. We obviously won't be discarding anything this turn, it still gives us the prompt anyway. We have a Westvale Abbey. And looks like we might be seeing some spirits, some flooding with tokens, that sort of thing. We do have a flyer right off the bat here, a 2/3 flyer, which is going to be somewhat problematic to deal with. I'm hoping that we draw some of our removal. We don't have any of it currently. We're dropping a mountain here. We can move into combat and play our Incorrigible Youths, which will give us a 4/3 haste that he can't kill. So I think that's the play, and we probably won't attack with Fury Blade Vampire though, because he will be able to kill that with that 2/3. He might not want to trade though. Because of this ability here, whenever you cast a creature spell, investigate, he might be wanting to keep this alive. So we could put that to the test, perhaps. I think that's what we might do. We're going to move to combat here, which will give us this prompt. We will play our Incorrigible Youths. So that gets exiled, or discarded even, and then we simply confirm that, and it comes onto the battlefield, and well, our opponent decides that they've had enough at that point. They've obviously had some bad run-ins with some madness vampire decks. Nonetheless, we will play through the game for you guys, and we can see how this plays out and what sort of deck our opponent was playing. I think it's better than just leaving the game here. We're still going to test this and see if our opponent will block this. I don't think that's a bad trade if they do. We do lose our Madness activator, but we still have Hair of Falconwrath to... Hair of Falconwrath? Air of Falconwrath. Looks like he chose not to block, which was kind of what I was expecting the human opponent would do as well. That was a very early leave. I get a lot of early leavers on this deck once they see certain removal combos and stuff happen, but not usually just when I, you know, play an Incorrigible Youths. But this is a lot of damage on the board very early. We've got a Nissa Vastwood Seer. Let's let them throw that down. Now that we're playing against an AI, they're very patient for us now, so we give us plenty of time to look at their cards. AI is very friendly and patient. I think this could potentially be a pretty quick game for us here nonetheless. We did draw a Lightning Axe here, which is fantastic. I'm going to play that Mountain down, and we have a few choices here. We have Abandon Reason as an instant to be able to ensure that our attackers get through, and that might just be the play here. They're probably not going to want to trade either of these, but they're going to be taking a massive amount of damage if they don't. We can play this in response to them blocking. So what we're going to do... Now, although it's tempting to Madness it, I think that is actually a better play. Now, although I could use Lightning Axe, I think I'm going to hold off on that, and we'll get this damage through. I mean, if we do kind of discard Abandon Reason and play it here, what do we end up with? We end up with 4, 5, 5. We end up with 10 damage. Not quite enough to finish them off, but it does put us in a pretty good position. I could alternatively Lightning Axe and then play Abandon Reason. I think we'll just go for a straight up attack here. Do I want to discard for the Fury Blade Vampire? Do we want to take this a little bit slower here? If I discard, I can put down the Asylum Visitor, but then I can't play Abandon Reason. That's the problem here. Now, if he blocks with the Flyer on the Fury Blade Vampire, then we can't save it with Abandon Reason. A little bit of a puzzle here for us. We could simply take a bit of a slower approach and play down our Blood Mad Vampire, and then that with Abandon Reason next turn is going to you know, cause some damage. I think that we're going to discard the Blood Mad Vampire. This feels like the best play to me. So we get the Blood Mad Vampire down, and then we can close it out quite comfortably next turn, unless they pull something amazing. I think that this is a bad trade for them, so I'm okay to put them in this position, even if we potentially lose a creature here. We're in a pretty good state here, I think. Chooses to double block there. That works nicely for me. I think that pans out just perfectly. At this point, since we have 2 free mana left, I think I will play this Air of Falconwrath down. We still have the Fury Blade Vampire to activate Madness too. Okay, this looks good. Opponent left with 8 life. I'm feeling pretty comfortable that we can push through the last damage needed here. They've taken a lot of damage already and don't really have much in the way of defenses. Knight of the White Orchid, first strike 2/2. We can counteract that with Abandoned Reason. I'm not too worried about that. It's a good card for sure, but I'm not too worried about that. He's got a lot of clues to sacrifice for extra cards to get some responses for us here, so might be able to pull something out, gets an extra land drop there. Pulled an extra swamp, but we're not really going to need it. Okay. I think that we just push through the final damage here. So we can throw away a card with Fury Blade Vampire, Lightning Axe. Actually, no, I think what I'm going to do here is we're gonna go all in for this and close this game out. So I'm simply going to discard a card, and that's going to be Abandon Reason. We're going to play Abandon Reason. we're going to give a Fury Blade and this one here first strike. Let's make sure we're doing a black and a red there. No, it's not gonna matter. And that puts us in a pretty good position here. And we can flip this as well. We can actually play this as well, and then everything goes down. This is what I'm talking about, just dumping your entire hand down. And now we're in a pretty good position to just push through for the win. The flyer is going to get through its damage no matter what. We have 2 first strikers, so even if he chump blocks, it's going to die. So let's go ahead and attack with all there. This is looking pretty good for us. With only 1 green up, not much our opponent can do. And we get through 5 damage. The first strike's cancelling each other out, that's okay. I think that's fine. Because we have a lot of threat on the board right now. What's our opponent going to play? Searching for cards, so no good options in hand currently. And nothing played. They might have something to play in response, but chances are that's not the case. Okay, we can use our Looming Spires here to give some extra damage through. It looks like we're in pretty good shape though, guys. Let's discard the Lightning Axe for Fury Blade. I don't think he's going to be flashing in any creatures for us to worry about. There we go, hitting in for 11 damage. I think that'll do the job. A solid win. Our opponent leaving earlier. Hopefully our opponent sticks around a little longer in the next game. Let's move on to the next one. Alrighty, we don't have much land in hand, but we have the 2 we need to play Fury Blade Vampire, and we can hope on that. It's maybe a slightly risky play, but I think this hand is good enough to play with. We have plenty of time to draw another land, so I think we are in pretty good shape here. There we go, we get another land on first turn. Maybe just that Ziggy RNG. Alright, we'll play down our Hammer Battlements first turn. It doesn't really matter too much here. We could potentially use that for haste later on if we need to. I love this Fury Blade Vampire Stensier in our hand and Incorrigible Youths. That feels so good. We have choices now of which one we can play based on what they get out. Smuggler's Copter, OP card. could cause some problems for us. Very strong card here. Whenever it attacks or blocks, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. And only crew for 1 is a flying 3/3 for 2 mana cost. It's very, very good. Let's play down our mountain now and get our Fury Blade Vampire down. Gotta be one of my favorite cards, the Fury Blade Vampire. I've fallen so much in love with it. It's won me so many games just by itself. Just that constant turn-by-turn madness activation and the massive amounts of damage it can put out. Very, very satisfying aggro card. Loving this madness mechanic. We've got 3 black lands down so far. Mono black, all missing some lands. Got an Era of Falconwrath coming out, interesting. Not sure what to expect here. That's unexpected. We'll see what we'll be playing. Current plan is probably to be playing Stensier Masquerade so that we can push through his defenders at this point. Over the Incorrigible Youths, which he could potentially kill with a Smuggler's Copter. Smuggler's Copter is attacking here, obviously this damage is obviously just gonna go through. Not really a problem. Okay. Doesn't have any blockers up at the moment though, so maybe we could push through with the Incorrigible Youths now and then play Stensier Masquerade next turn. That might actually be the play. We now have an instant speed Lightning Axe we can do at any point, as long as we keep 1 mana up as well, so that's gonna be really nice. Not this turn, since I'm going to be playing an Incorrigible Youths, but we'll play down... I'm not going to need Era of Falconwrath just yet, so I'll play down another mountain. So we are going to move to combat here and play down Incorrigible Youths, as he has nothing to block with and only 1 black mana up. So now we go from, this is what I was talking about in the deck tag, we go from 1 damage on the board to, all of a sudden, 8 damage on the board. Which you may be thinking, oh, okay, maybe I could take 1, maybe I could take 4 damage, and you throw all your attackers into face. You do 3 damage, get some card draw, and then this happens, which could be a little unexpected. People who haven't played against a lot of Madness decks might not be ready for the amount of damage that can just suddenly appear on the board, and that's what I love about this deck. You really catch people off guard. When I played at game day, for Eldritch Moon. I got a lot of like surprised looks from my opponents when I did these sorts of madness combos, and that was very satisfying. Surprising your opponents is probably one of the most satisfying things you can do in Magic the Gathering, I think. Let's see what's going down here. Looks like he's crewing that Smuggler's Copter again. Probably just going to be searching for more cards here and dealing a bit of damage. We're more than happy to be taking this damage. Although he's getting that card advantage, that's going to be happening anyway. There's no reason for us to be worrying about blocking or anything. And we can deal with that with a Lightning Axe very soon as well. We can actually... we can Lightning Axe one of the either Incorrigible Youths or Stencia Masquerade out. But that does leave us with not very many options for the Fury Blade Vampire. We could just throw away a card potentially. We don't have enough mana to play everything with Madness. Or we can throw away our second Stencia Masquerade. Although you can have multiples down to get additional counters. You get 2/2 each turn if you have 2 down. We can probably just throw one of these away for a bit of extra damage. I think that's probably a fair play here. I don't really... We could hold on to some mana. I think what we'll do is move to combat here and throw down another Incorrigible Youths. We could be growing our creatures with Stencia Masquerade though. That will put him on the defensive, but at the same time, if we throw down Incorrigible Youths, we are getting 12 damage. I think that's probably what I might do. He has 3 untapped black, so he might have some removal ready to go. We'll see how it plays out. Incorrigible Youths is coming down. I'm going to try for the 12 damage. Let's see how it goes. We could just kill him right here. So I think we can try for that. This is fine. We want to keep the 1 red up for Lightning Axe, just in case. And here comes our Grasp of Darkness. Target creature get -4/-4. Realizing he is going to die here. We're still potentially able to get 8 damage through here, so I think that's just fine. So we'll be attacking with all. We did lose our Madness activator, but we can throw something out with Madness with Lightning Axe if we wait till next turn. I may want to throw this out just to stop the Copter from attacking, maybe. That might be worth it to stop him from drawing an extra card. He's flipping his Air of Falconwrath there. We'll move to opponent's turn here. With our Lightning Axe in hand, I'm feeling very comfortable that we can close this out. There's not too much they could do at this point. We don't have any creatures in hand, so something like a Languish soon could cause problems, but we could probably come back from that as well just fine. Okay, throws down another Smuggler's Copter. It's going to have Summoning Sickness, so he's not going to be able to crew with that. He opts to pass the turn, so we won't be using our Lightning Axe here. We do have a second Lightning Axe, so I think what we're going to be doing here is going full defensively, obviously. We're going to Lightning Axe, the Air of Falconwrath here, discard a card. It's going to be a Stencia Masquerade, of course. Looks like he is got something planned. He has no mana. I'm not sure what he's planning on doing. Does he have any abilities? Crewing? Oh, using the last moment to crew here. That's a smart play, obviously, giving himself another defender for this turn. But it's not gonna matter too much because we're gonna play our Stencia Masquerade out. So he crews and keeps another vehicle to defend with. But that's fine because we now have Stencia Masquerade and two 4/3 first strikers. So where he can't really, he's going to throw his creatures under the bus because that's what he has to do, but, it's going to work out in our favor. I think he's crewing the Smuggler's Copter just to get that card draw when he blocks. I was wondering why not just throw the 1/1 under the bus instead. But he obviously wants that card draw to try and get some answers because he's going to need them next turn, so at least he draws 2 cards here, which is going to be helpful for him. Very nice card advantage. You see that strength of Smuggler's Copter, it's just so strong. Some discards happening there, making choices on the second card draw. We'll see another card get discarded here. He's got plenty of opportunities to pull an answer out of his deck. We'll see if he manages to, but it's pretty much just a Languish here that I think that could really help him. He doesn't have enough mana on the board. He's pretty mana starved, so he doesn't have enough mana on the board to really have too many answers here. He does throw a land down. Sanitarium. This one comes back from the graveyard. No, wait. That's the wrong one. Each player draws a card, then discards a card. Our opponent decides that they're not going to be able to have any answers. We'll close out the game and see what they had. AI can show us the rest of their hand. But it looks like that is game just there. We're going to have to discard a card ourselves. We can discard and play a card here, which is always fun. I can discard and play Stensia Masquerade, but it's like none of this is really going to make too much difference. I'll do the Stensia Masquerade. Oh, I don't have any mana, so we can't play it. Never mind. Never mind. Well, I think that's going to be game for us, guys. We can simply Lightning Axe our opponent's creature here, and just, like, you know, throw away an Insolent Neonate. We don't need that. We could put down an Heir of Falconwrath, and could we give it haste? I think we could give it haste. Just to, you know, maximize the amount of output, the damage that we're outputting, right? We can give it haste here if we activate this one. So, you know, you should always search for the best possible turns, even if you don't need to, right? Like, it's overkilling here. It's only the AI. We're not really BMing a real player here, but we're learning a bit about the game, which is a useful thing to do. And obviously, with 10 damage coming in, our opponent is done. Let's move on to the next one. Welcome back, guys. We're on a bit of a win streak here. Let's see if we can maintain it. We have 2 Mountains and a Fury Blade in hand. We have a Lightning Axe and a Fiery Temper. We don't have any black mana for our Silent Visitor or Blood Hall, but I think this alone is good. I think this alone is good enough. We can use the Fury Blade Vampire to discard the Fiery Temper if we need to clear a way through. So let's go ahead and keep that hand. I almost clicked Draw a New Hand, but I'm fairly happy with this one. Not an optimal hand, but definitely playable. Not worth throwing away, I don't think. Got a Kessig Prowler from our enemy here. That can potentially transform later in the game, but I don't think it'll be surviving that long. We draw a 3rd Mountain. I was hoping for a Swamp there, but that's okay. Not really worth Lightning Axing our opponent's creature just here. We're more than happy for him to spend some time dealing some damage to us, so that's okay. Let's move to our through our second main phase into our opponent's turn. Let's see. So we've got some green and werewolves. Could we be seeing green-red werewolves, perhaps? Haven't seen any werewolf action in a while. I do like the werewolf action. Take our 2 damage here, not a problem. Opponent watching damage effects. Did I turn those off for myself? Because your opponent has to wait if you have damage effects enabled. It's nice to turn them off. I think I did turn them off. I can't quite recall. Fury Blade Vampire goes down. We'll be able to activate the Fury Blade Vampire on the next turn and discard Fiery Temper to take out the Kessig Prowler if needed. Well, not doing it this turn, obviously. It is a little bit of overkill, but it does remove a defender that could kill our Fury Blade, so it's still a good trade, I think. What other options do we have? If we pull a Swamp, we could play a Bloodhole Priest. We could put down a Stensia Masquerade instead, actually, and then get First Strike. We're definitely not going to be blocking here. We'll take that damage. It looks like as our opponent has decided to attack with the Kessig Prowler, potentially hoping for a trade or happy to get a bit of damage through, knowing that we wouldn't trade, wanting to keep our Madness Activator on the board. Throw down our 3rd Mountain here, and we have a few options. We can Stensia Masquerade from the discard, which I think is the right play because then our Fury Blade will start growing. That it'll have 3 toughness after this, I think is going to be very good for us. As we don't have too many creatures that we can play right yet, so I kind of want this Fury Blade Vampire to go the distance. Because if she dies, then we're going to have problems because we don't have any black mana for the rest of our creatures here. And we need creatures. This deck's very reliant on creatures. They can't die. They're not allowed to die. Well, here we get our 1/1 counters, unless our opponent has some form of response. Looks like we're good. Good stuff. That goes through 4 damage, and it'll grow into a 2/3. That will become a 5/3 with discards. And that's going to make our opponent think twice about attacking with the Kessig Prowler again, I think. It'll be interesting to see what they pull out here. We've got some blue land coming out here. We've got a Thriving Turtle, a defender that can grow by spending energy. Gets 2 energy, and you can spend 2 to give it a 1/1 counter. We obviously just going to be taking this damage. He's realizing he's not going to be blocking with that, so deciding to throw some damage at us. I'm still quite comfortable taking damage at this point, not too worried. Our opponent doesn't look like, with plays like this, that they're going to be getting a lot of damage out very quickly, so I'm not too worried. We didn't draw any land, but we have enough land to do, apart from these black, to do quite a few things still, right? Like 3 mana is a good break point in this deck. As long as you got 3 lands down, you can do quite a bit. We can play Incorrigible Youths, we can Lightning Axe, Fiery Temper, we're in good shape. I think that if we grow this up, it will plow through this with First Strike, not a problem. Couldn't kill it anyway. And we can play our Incorrigible Youths, which will also just plow through our opponent's defenses. So I think that's the play. We have removal, but we don't need to use it at all. We can let our creatures do the grunt work instead. He might opt to block and sacrifice the turtle, just to prevent our creatures from growing, but I'm quite happy with that as well. Really what our opponent needs to be doing at the moment is stalling to try and get some removal, because this deck, its biggest weakness, and I remember I wanted to talk about weaknesses, is a lot of early game removal, right? Like sideboarding in a lot of early game removal. However, in duels, since there's no sideboarding in these random quick matches, then we catch a lot of people off guard and they don't have a chance to sideboard in a lot of that sideboard removal that you'd normally be running. The 2 procs there, and as you can see, the Fury Blade becoming a 6/4 now. They're just growing out of control. 5/4 here, 6/4, very hard to deal with, especially with that First Strike on every attack. And we just want to be attacking relentlessly at this point. He throws down another turtle, just going to buy him a little bit of time, but it's not going to be enough. It is not going to be enough. Another turtle! He's got all the turtles, wow! How many turtles can you can actually run 4 turtles? He could have 4 turtles in his deck. Might we be seeing another turtle in this game? I hope so. I would love to see a turtle army. He's got a lot of energy. I don't know what he's going to be using that on. He could grow the turtles. He could, I think he can only activate this once. I don't think he can activate that multiple times, so I don't think he can multi-pump it. So I think we're okay here. We've got a Blood Mad Vampire. This one gets 1/1 counters when it deals damage to, which means 2/2 with Stentia Masquerade. Quite fun. We could, just to ensure some damage here, just destroy him with our removal here. We can destroy both his defenders, and then we can just discard a card and swing in for lethal damage, it looks like. So I think that's what we're going to be doing. He does have 3 land up, but we'll make this play anyway, I think. Confirm on the Fiery Temper, which will be playing 3 damage there. So both turtles are going to die. I can't... One of them could have pumped. He could have pumped to make it survive the Fiery Temper. I didn't consider that until after I'd played it. Now at this point we can just discard a card. The Asylum Visitor, not super handy for us right now. Yeah, I think we'll discard that. And just get 11 damage to throw through. He's got 3 land up, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Our opponent's still in the game, so they might have some plays. Looks like that's a no. That's 11 damage through. Very, very convincing win. Well, we are on a 3-win streak. Let's have one last game here and see if we can continue it. This hand is looking pretty good. We have a Fury Blade and a Blood Mad that we can discard with it. We have removal, and we have a bit of extra damage and trample to get through. I'm quite happy with this. We've had pretty good hands overall. I don't think I've had to mulligan a single hand, actually, in this series of games. Most hands I find in this deck are pretty playable. There's not too many creatures that we can't play early on. Since this is so, so skewed towards the early game, we're usually in pretty good shape there. Since we have enough lands here to play the Fury Blade, we could, well, we have to think forwards. Do we want to play the Looming Spire, or do we need a 3rd land on turn 3? It looks like we don't, so we can actually save the Looming Spires and get some extra damage through. So I'll get the Swamp out now. And then we'll play a Mountain and Fury Blade. Then we can discard the Blood Mad and play it. And then we can drop a Looming Spires to give +1/+1 on First Strike, which might dissuade any ambitious defenders. This has been a solid win streak. Can we close out with 4 wins in a row here, or might you guys see a way that this deck can be defeated? I'd like to show you guys a loss, a good loss. I'd like to show you guys a good loss. There's always a lot to be learned from good losses, right? Let's bring down our Mountain and our Fury Blade. We will have our... The only thing is that we might draw a like a Stentia Masquerade or something here that we'd want to play on turn 3. So that'd be the only drawback of holding onto the Looming Spires for turn 3. I mean, I'm reading from the information I have at the moment, but we don't know what we're going to draw, and we could draw something that we would have wanted to play on turn 3. Instead, we're playing a 2-drop on turn 3. with Looming Spires being a slow land. Having both Looming Spires is a little unfortunate, because I don't want both slow lands this early on here. Looming Spires is much better on to be drawing later on when you can get that +1/+1 of first strike. It can help you, and it can help you push through. What do we have here? A Jiraga Auxiliary can support. We have, okay, so I think we'll be Looming Spires our Fury Blade Vampire right now. We'll plus that up, and we'll definitely be getting some damage through here. Now I could Lightning Axe or remove this with Avacyn's Judgment or something if I wanted to, but I think we just play the Blood Mud Vampire and get another creature on the board. I'd like that to be attacking next turn, then we can use our removal to clear a path. I could actually play the Bloodhall Priest here, get a 4/4 down. I kind of like the idea of the Blood Mad Vampire going down and growing. What colors is our opponent in? Green and white? Yeah, I think I like the Blood Mad Vampire. It seems unlikely that they'll have removal for it, so I think I like this. You know, not being in red or black or something like that. Attacking with a 5/3 with first strike here. Obviously, our opponent won't be blocking that. 5 damage here on turn 3. Pretty good. Pretty good. Opponent's making decisions currently. They might just be considering the block, maybe not realizing the first strike from the land. It's easy to sneak that by. The icon is there on the card, but maybe just not wanting to take the damage. But, I mean, we have Trample. Fury Blade Vampire has that Trample. Not a great trade, I don't think. They might have missed the first strike, but it wasn't really going to make much difference either way. The creature was still going to die. Not so sure about what the play was there. Maybe just a bit worried about taking damage, trying to buy time perhaps. Grabbing a bunch of land out, opponent growing very quickly here. That means that we could be seeing some big nasty creatures that we'll have trouble getting through. The advantage of having this guy down now is that it can grow, so we don't have to worry about that so much. Well, we might as well drop the Looming Spires here and plus up one of our creatures, doesn't matter which. And what will we be discarding? I think the Bloodhall Priest is the discard. I mean, there's not much point in playing anything else here, I don't think, and getting the 4/4 down will be very nice as well. Go ahead and discard the Bloodhall Priest. It's nice that we finally have some black mana. I feel like we have constantly been missing out on that. Love these Bloodhall Priests. If you can dump your hand and then have those out and just be, you know, top decking, playing the top deck, you know, each turn discarding it to the Fury Blade and keeping that 2 damage per attack, it's so very nice. Let's go ahead and attack with these guys. Blood Mad Vampire is going to be growing further, becoming a 6/3. Massive. And I'm going to be getting that, I've got a daily quest to get 10 counters on 10 creatures. So I think we'll be getting that. That'll be some extra coins for me. We might crack a pack at the end here, see if I can get that Olivia Immobilized for War I've been hanging for this deck. I've really been hoping for it, and I'm at 80-something% of this set, and I have not been able to pull Olivia. We've got a Nissa. Not too problematic. I mean, could trade. We do have plenty of removal in hand, though. They have so much land down. Will Nissa actually be flipping here? Yeah, Nissa's flipping. Well, I think that's okay, because we can kill Nissa. Do we want to kill Nissa or just try and kill them? I mean, we might just be able to kill them. It might actually be bad that Nissa flipped here, because he's not going to have a defender. He's got 2 land up. Let's see. We got all the removal we need in hand. We've got this, that gives us trample and +2/+2. Ooh, Kythian's a good card. Can be given indestructible, but not with no mana up. Ah, Nissa playing that 4/4. Well, that does help a little bit, but I think we can just push our way through here. We do have Stensia Masquerade, so the slower approach would be to play Stensia Masquerade and just give everything first strike and just be able to destroy everything. That's definitely going to work. Otherwise, we can probably just kill him here by going for a Lightning Axe. If we Lightning Axe and then Avacyn's Judgment, we get 2 damage, which will kill this. He can't give it indestructible. Okay, I think we do that. Lightning Axe. Discard a card. Let's hope I did my Ziggy math correctly. I often miscount these things. There we go, 2 damage. I mean, not that it makes much difference. 1 damage was enough. I'll deal 1 damage to face there. I could have killed Nissa, I suppose, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. I guess the more correct play might be to kill Nisa, since I already have lethal on the board and she could cause a problem or something, but I don't think it's gonna matter. We'll just get rid of our Ravenous Bloodseeker here. Don't have any mana to play anything anyway. We'll be attacking with all here. And it looks like we're gonna be going for a flawless victory in the 4 games for this video today. Damn, not bad, not bad. All right, let's crack a pack and see if we can get Olivia. Come on, Olivia. Oh, we got another Asylum Visitor, that's nice. I don't know if I'd want to run 2 of those in this deck, but still not a bad card in this deck. So we did actually get something for the deck, potentially. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this first Magic the Gathering Duels commentary here. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't be afraid to share any criticisms or tips you have on how I can improve my play. I'm eager to hear them. And I may see you guys next time. I had a lot of fun recording this, so it seems like something that I might be wanting to do more regularly, perhaps. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm ZiggyD, and thank you very much for watching.